This one is more for business and for us. Where do we see Coaching Society in 5 years?
5 years.
5 years.
Wow.
I don't even know where we're going to be in 5 minutes, to be fair. This podcast could go fucking left or right. Who knows?
We don't know. I was talking to the girls about that on the weekend, and I was like, have you ever done like a psychic reading? Like, would you ever do one? And like,
Yuck.
I think both of them said that they have, but one of them mentioned that like they like the feeling of the unknown. And for me, I'm like, I could go either way. Like, I want to know what's going to happen because I'm such a control freak and I do have such bad anxiety. I'm like, I need to know what's happening. But then a part of me is like, who knows? If someone asked me 5 years ago if I would be in this position that I'm in now, I'd laugh.
Fucking know, absolutely.
But no, in saying that though, of course, any good business owner should have a 5 year or a 3 year
We actually do
plan.
have a plan. We're not just
We do
fucking
have a
winging this.
plan.
People are like, these guys have no idea what they're doing.
What are they doing? No, we
pretty
do
sure
have
we
a plan.
don't.
We do
Yeah.
have a plan. We might look very like surface level on the exterior, but yeah, inside we're very meticulous with our planning. So we do have a 5 year plan, and that 5 year plan definitely excites us.
Yeah. So in 5 years, by the end of 2028, we want to be empowering 1,000 people to lasting change, which means we want to have within Coaching Society 1,000 active clients. We've already had over 1,000 clients come through Coaching Society, but we want to build up our numbers to be able to know that on a day-to-day basis, we have a team of coaches and we have like this team behind us working alongside yourself and I to be helping 1,000 people and wake up in the morning going, there's 1,000 people that we're helping today.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
That would just like light my soul on fire. I would be like,
I know.
there are 1,000 people that we are changing their lives. Like, how you can't get more special than that.
No. And we've got like a long way to go to get there. Like we are, working to set up the foundations, which I think is the biggest thing when it comes to business is that's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to be linear to get there as well. Like we might only be at 500 in the last year, but all of a sudden we've set everything up to be able to really scale. So I know that if we keep kind of working, we're only 2.5 years into business now, and we've got 250 clients. We have pulled ourselves back from coaching. We've got a really, really good team behind us. I know that, in 5 years' time, we'll definitely be there, which is super cool.
Which is exciting. And then, of course, that means that we get to diversify within the business as well. Like we get to promote certain individuals based on their performance, based on their, how bought they are into the company, like everything, which is what we're starting to do now, which again is like another layer of our business that we're getting into as of late, obviously still navigating the roller coaster it is of a business, but that's kind of what excites us.
Yeah. I think like we are business owners as well, and we have transitioned into being business owners in the last 2 or 3 years since starting Coaching Society, and it's something we've invested a lot of money in terms of what we pay for on a day-to-day basis now, but also our education. So we see us building and setting up ourselves to create like a machine. We want Coaching Society to be a machine.
Like a platform.
Yeah, as a platform where we've got different departments, like I guess a proper company. Like right now, I think any company where you've got under 10 staff or 10 employees, you are still having like employees covering different areas. Whereas we want to get like a head of client success. We want to get like a head coach. We want to get a head of sales. We want to get a head of marketing and have all of the different departments within Coaching Society, which will be really, really cool because then that allows you and I to work in the creative space to create the ideas of how we're going to be able to grow and move forward.
I think that as a person in my position as well, I've found a lot recently is that when I'm being pulled out of my creative space, that's kind of as a business, we like hit a halt.
Yep.
And I do think that if you're a creative person, if you're thinking about starting a creative-based business, you need to allow yourself the time to be in that environment, because if you're not, then that's when the ideas stop. That's where your growth stops. That's where you can't scale your business anymore, which I think has been a really smart move on our end for me to move into that space so that I can come up with these ideas and I can have like freedom of thought, which can often get clouded when you're wearing a million different hats within your company, which I was. And I kind of still am a little bit, but it's a lot better.
You're only you're limited by the amount of time that you have. Like that's the biggest factor when it comes to scaling a business. And that's what we've tried to and continuing to try to work on. That's why we've got a team.
Yeah.
Really, like realistically.
Yeah.
Anyone listening to this as well, if you're listening or watching, I want you to say yes or no to my idea, and I want you to give me a location on my idea. So where we want to be in the next 5 years, I think if you listen to like episode 1 of our podcast, I spoke about us opening a gym. I think I've still got that like dying itch to have some kind of physical location.
Brick and mortar, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know what it would be yet. I've got no idea. I've got ideas in my head, whether it's a gym, whether it's like a studio for PT sessions, whether it's like a studio for kind of small group personal training, or literally just setting up a studio that looks sick as fuck. And
for us to do content in.
And all of our clients can just train there wherever or whatever it might be. So I've still got a kind of an itch to do that. I don't know whether that's going to happen or not. I don't know whether that's just like shiny object syndrome from my end. But it would be pretty cool. So if you're listening to this and you're a client or not a client, I want every single person who listens to this to message us on Instagram saying yes or no to the podcast episode idea of having a physical location, and let us know on a location, and you might just twist my arm. Michaela's like, fuck, don't.
Oh, dear God.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool. I think it throws the idea out there, and who knows if it will actually come to light, if we'll ever have time to do it, but it'd be pretty cool to have like a hub where we can bring everyone together and maybe even put an office in there so we don't have to work from our spare bedroom.
Maybe in a podcast studio.
Studio. So my office is behind the cameras right now, and I don't have to be sharing the same room.
But no, we do have a lot of like grand plans, big ideas. We want to make some big moves within this industry. We want to be on the forward foot. So yeah, I think that we're working our goddamn asses off to get there. So yeah.
We're hustling. That's it.
Awesome.
When we think of an idea and we are like, yep, we're going to do that, we fucking do it too. So if anyone twists my arm, I'm sorry, Michaela. Cool.
Now I'm nervous. I can't deal with it anymore. No,
you'll be fine. We'll be fine. We'll be fine.
Yeah. Just don't mess with my creative flow when I'm happy.
Okay, we'll leave you in your flow.